Welcome to Bible Reader Companion. We're continuing our studies in 1 Timothy chapters 3 and 4. And we want to continue to look at some things Paul had to say about the qualifications of leaders of God's people. I want to read the same section we read yesterday. I want to read chapter 3, beginning in verse 2. 1 Timothy 3, beginning in verse 2. A bishop must then be blameless, the husband of one wife, temperate, sober-minded, of good behavior, hospitable, able to teach, not given to wine, not violent, not greedy for money, but gentle, not quarrelsome, not covetous, one who rules his own house well, having his children in submission with all reverence. For if a man does not know how to rule his own house well, how will he take care of the church of God? Not a novice, lest being puffed up with pride he fall into the same condemnation as the devil. Moreover, he must have a good testimony among those who are outside, lest he fall into reproach and the snare of the devil. Now, here's what I find interesting about these things. We often talk about these characteristics when we start talking about elders and when we start talking about leadership. But here's my challenge and here's my question. Let's suppose that for some reason a man finds that he isn't qualified based on one or more of these. Does that mean that it has no meaning, that it has no importance for us? Because it's addressed to the men, does it mean that it has no importance or no bearing for the women? On the contrary, there is no characteristic here that every Christian man should not strive for. The characteristics here are not something that we should say, here's a standard by which everybody else lives, and then here's the standard by which we hold the elders to. This should be, if you read these characteristics, these are characteristics which every man in God's kingdom should strive to have. We should all strive not to be greedy for money, but to be gentle, to not be quarrelsome, to not be covetous. Even if there is something in here that says, you know what, I just can't serve as an elder. There's still the character of men of God that exist here. But if I can't serve as an elder, and in those areas even where I can't perhaps qualify because I've reached a stage in life where it's too late, I don't have children, I'm not married, for whatever reason I've been married more times than I feel qualifies me to serve as an elder. What about teaching my children? What about teaching my grandchildren? What about women teaching their children? What about women being the kind of women that support their husbands, about being the kind of woman, learning what kind of woman she should be in order to support a man who could be a leader of God's people? Because I guarantee you, some of the efforts here involve a partnership between the husband and the wife. Are we teaching our young women these characteristics and how important it is for them to be the kind of women that can support a man in a leadership role in God's people? So let us be careful when we read this text that we don't just go, well, I'm not an elder, I'm never going to be an elder, therefore it means nothing to me. Because this is an important text that we need to teach to everyone who is a Christian, young and old, so that we can know what it takes to be a leader and encourage people to be these kind of people. Thank you, and we hope you'll join us again tomorrow.
Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook for more content like this.